What is a parade when you can't gather people together?
A parade is still a parade, whether you march for someone else or just for yourself.
What does tradition look like in untraditional times?
Tradition is an anchor.
Tradition may look different today, but tradition never dies.
And what does the future hold for us?
If we can weather what we've weathered in the past year, I think we're well poised to seize the moment.
So it's going to be a bright future.
Because when history is this steeped in cultural richness, not even a pandemic can keep it from our hearts and minds as we celebrate Irish pride and heritage on this St. Patrick's Day. I'm Paul Costabile, coming to you from the legendary Rosie O'Grady's Irish Restaurant and Pub, located here in Midtown Manhattan, and greetings on this anything but normal St. Patrick's Day. The world is socially distant, everyone behind the scenes here is masked up, and this incredible space, 4 floors of dining, drinking, and dancing, is spick and span, sanitized to the nines, and like the rest of the world, ready for action. And as time marches on, without fail, so too has the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
One of my favorite quotes about the parade is from E.B. White, the author of Charlotte's Web. The only event that hits every New Yorker over the head annually is the St. Patrick's Day Parade. The Irish are an impossible race to tune out. I take it as a compliment. If you don't see the bagpipers, you're sure as heck going to hear them. My name is Sean Lane. I've got the great honor of being the chairman of the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade. The first St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City was in 1762. It was held by Irish soldiers serving in the British Army. Friends of ours from Boston might tell you they beat us by a year or two, but we are the oldest continuous parade. And then, as I heard one person say, there's a difference between having a parade and being chased by the cops. So, a shout out to our friends in Boston.
A blizzard in Dublin, rain in Chicago, but nothing dampens the spirit of the Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
So since 1762, every single year there has always been a parade. The American Revolution, the Civil War, World War I, World War II. There was one year where there was 4 or 5 feet of snow and a group still got out on Fifth Avenue and marched.
This year was another snow day. You can see some pieces of snow coming down, and I just love the contrast of the bright colors here and all that white going all the way down the avenue. When the parade is over and the smoke clears, all you have left is me. I want to get that shot. I want to get those smiling faces. I want to get the things that say St. Patrick's is a happy event. My images are the only thing that can linger on. Your memory carries that day with you for so far. But when you want to look back and do a retrospect, that is part of the heritage. I'm Dominic Totino. I'm a freelance photographer, and I got involved with the St. Patrick's Day Parade in 2003, and I've been the parade photographer for the committee that puts on the parade for the past 18 years.
The point of capturing these still images of the parade, it's really important because you can miss it. I mean, it's such an enormous parade with up to 250,000 marchers, 1 to 2 million people on the sidelines. There are all kinds of stories going on the parade and parade day.
Happy St. Patty's Day!
On parade day, I'm usually down on the avenue by about 6:30 in the morning. As soon as it hits 11, they blow that whistle. For me, I have to get that photo. Then I got to scoot to the front as fast as I possibly can and try to get the 69th.
In the 1850s, the Know Nothing Party was very prominent, and they did not like Catholics, they didn't like immigrants, and they definitely didn't like the fact that the Irish were marching up Fifth Avenue. In order to provide some sort of protection for the Irish societies who would be marching, the 69th marched.
The Fighting 69th always traditionally leads the parade.
My name is Jim Tierney. I'm the honorary colonel of the 69th Infantry Regiment in New York. My role is to instill a sense of history and tradition in the soldiers who serve in the 69th Regiment. I wouldn't say that the 69th is a protector of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. I would say that the 69th is a protector of the tradition of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And I must have marched, I'd say over 50 times.
For New York, it's interesting. I mean, everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. You know, we know that.
I think what St. Patrick's Day does in New York City is it reminds people that they're all descendants of people who came from somewhere else. And it really gives, especially New York, a grounding on that no one is better than anyone else. We're all visitors here.
I'm Italian, I'm 100% Italian, but I could almost say even regard our parade that I feel like I'm that much of a part of it. It's a part of Americana. 1762, let's go back there to think that these people have been marching that long a time.
A big part of the traditions of the parade are just making sure, obviously, that every year, no matter what is happening in the community or what's happening in the country, that we always have a parade. That's just a weight of history that we need to honor. Last year's parade during COVID, we were very thankful the authorities, that the governor and the mayor did give us permission to have a very, very, very small parade. It was about 19 or 20 people, and we marched up from the Armory on 26th and Lexington up to the cathedral.
Give us a wave, Malachi.
So the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade will continue as long as there are Irish and Irish Americans in New York, and that probably will be forever.
Welcome back to St. Patrick's Day, a celebration for all. Coming to you from Rosie O'Grady's Irish Restaurant and Pub in Midtown Manhattan, I'm Paul Costabile, and you've caught me mid-meal. You know, the quickest way to get to know any culture is through its food and drink, and Irish cuisine is no different. It also doesn't hurt if it's served to you from what's been named the world's best bar.
There's an Irish pub in every corner of the globe. However, there's only a handful of very good Irish pubs in every corner of the globe. I think there's a fine line between what is gimmicky and what is authentic, and I think we in this bar, I think we've done it right. My name is Sean Muldoon, and I'm one of the managing partners in Dead Rabbit.
I made a dedicated promise to myself when I came to America, because I've seen other Irish people come to America and they assimilate totally into the American culture. I have an American wife, I will have an American kid soon, but I am very proud of where I'm from, and our whole goal is to transport people to Ireland. You know, we really want to offer that moment of refuge and escape before you resume into the chaos of outside. My name is Jack McGarry, and I'm the managing partner of the Dead Rabbit. I've been working with Sean for, 13, 14 years now. Our background, we ran a 5-star hotel bar in Belfast called the Merchant Hotel.
When we would finish work, we'd go to a pub up the street called the Duke of York, and it was an Irish pub. And it was very informal, complete opposite of the Merchant Hotel where we worked. And it was good to go in there and just unwind and be yourself. It was a seed that was planted in my brain. You could do two things in one, which was the high-end cocktails in an Irish pub setting.
We wanted to bring together the pub and the cocktail bar and make it accessible in an American story, a New York story. First couple of years in New York were brutally tough in terms of scraping by whilst we were building this.
It ended up taking us 2.5 years. Now, those 2.5 years were really, really difficult.
The thing I love and I hate about New York is that it constantly finds new ways to put you on your ass. We don't like lying down. We're not a docile culture, which is definitely something I believe we share with Americans as a whole.
Myself and Jack were Fighting Irish, and we opened on the 12th of February 2013. We voted the world's best bar in 2016, but it's not about winning awards. The guest is the award, and that guest coming in that door now, that's all that matters.
Authenticity is huge for us. As you can see on the walls when you come to Dead Rabbit, every picture has been commissioned because we want to really champion the people, the places and the products of Ireland.
And then our food, what we call a pub grub or a comfort food in Ireland. It's not too fancy, it's just real good quality home cooking. We take cocktails extremely seriously.
It's the reason why we have the biggest selection of Irish whiskey in the Americas.
When people have either been to Ireland or they are Irish that live here or they come over to visit, they do get a slice of home. The drink should taste great and be efficient, and that's really what we try to achieve. My name is Jillian Bose, and I'm the beverage director here at the Dead Rabbit in New York City.
Our Irish coffee in here is legendary across the globe. It's a very simple drink, but it's very hard to make right.
We make hundreds of these a day.
An Irish coffee is essentially coffee, sugar, cream, and whiskey, but it's all proportioned. It's all about balance. It's all about how much of this versus how much of that.
I think it's completely appropriate to have an Irish coffee at any time of the day, and there's never an excuse not to have one.
The best way I can describe it to Americans is St. Patrick's Day for us is quite like Thanksgiving.
We like to think that we do St. Patrick's Day right. We want to make sure that people understand that it's not about the green beer and the shots of blended Irish whiskey, that there's a lot more to Irish culture.
I'm very grateful that we're able to celebrate it at all, obviously, in light of the pandemic. I'm still very confident we'll be able to capture the essence and the magic of St. Patrick's Day. People will just be slightly further apart, and getting our St. Patrick's Day back is just another step towards normalcy.
Welcome back to St. Patrick's Day, a celebration for all. Coming to you from Rosie O'Grady's Irish Restaurant and Pub in Midtown Manhattan, I'm Paul Costabile. Now, I believe it was Danny Boy who had the pipes are calling after him, and the Lord of the Dance who brought Irish choreography to the masses. So it should come as no surprise that both melody and movement are as synonymous with Irish heritage as is wearing green on St. Patrick's Day.
It's so beautiful, it's so different, it's so exciting. It's always, always ever changing. The steps, the movements, it's not simply dancing, but it's something so much more.
Turn, forward, and 8, 2, 3, hit feet.
Irish dance is a unique combination of sport and traditional dance.
1, 2, up, and a 1, 2, up, and a 1, 2, 3, and style.
There is so much athleticism involved in the components of the dance. Our dancers do not move their upper body and arms at all. Whereas if you're doing ballet or jazz, that can assist you in your movement, where our dancers are restricted and therefore harder, but way cooler.
6, keep those arms in tight, and 8, 2, 3.
My name is Kelly Fitzpatrick. I am the owner and director of the Fitzpatrick Academy of Irish Dance, and I am also a proud member of USA Irish Dance Alliance. The USA Irish Dance Alliance is a group of teachers that formed last year under an organization in Ireland. We came together to support each other's businesses and, more importantly, our dancers. Our mission is to spread the culture and art of Irish dance in America.
Your lines are looking so much better that time, right guys?
So many different dancers of different ages and backgrounds. They walk in our doors and they want to learn Irish dance, and it doesn't matter if they're Irish or not.
I'm Irish, if you can't tell. I've been dancing about 13 years, and I'm at the highest level of the Open Championship level.
I started dancing when I was 4. This year, I'm going to be going to the World Championships for the very first time.
I've been dancing for about 3.5 years.
Good.
Pandemic or not, we need to have a St. Patrick's Day parade, and come hell or high water, we are going to march in some way, shape, or form. And this year, it's just in a virtual way, and we hope to be back marching and enjoying that sea of green up 5th Avenue very soon.
When you hear the bagpipes, that gets you going, get your emotions moving.
The drones, the squeal of the pipes when they start.
To many people, it's an instrument of war. Nevertheless, I think it sounds like a violin.
The NYPD pipe band is consisted of active and retired members of the police department of all ranks. So in total, about 120 members. We're goodwill ambassadors for the police department. That's the way I feel. Everything we do is on a positive note. My name is Kevin Patrick McCarthy. I'm a retired detective, and I'm the NYPD drum major of the Pipes and Drums of the Emerald Society of New York.
It's an honor to perform with the bagpipes at so many events. We've been able to perform for our military. We've played inaugural parades, we've played concerts.
But the most honorable thing we do is to bury a police officer on his funeral.
My name is Detective Kevin McDonough. I'm the bandmaster of the NYPD Emerald Society Pipes and Drums. I hear bagpipes in my sleep. What I love about the bagpipes, it brings back the Irish heritage, the sound, the tunes that we play. It makes me very proud, very humble.
It's just a great feeling being of Irish ancestry and being able to play an ancient instrument. My name is John Tanzi. I'm a retired New York City police sergeant who has 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren.
When we play, and March. We're in our kilts. We're proudly Irish Americans that celebrate in our Irish heritage. Our St. Patrick's Day is our Christmas Day.
There's a great feeling when you step out up 44th Street and all of a sudden you get onto 5th Avenue and you can hardly even hear the instruments with the applause that comes out.
You definitely get a chill up your back, makes the hair on your arm stand up.
And to see everybody clapping, smiling, because it's St. Patrick's Day. And they love what they hear, they love what they see. Because we're the NYPD Pipe Band.
This band is going to go on forever. We've been around for 60 years and we'll continue to be around for a great many more.
By all accounts, last year was a very difficult period. 2021 is off to a similar start, and compounded by this marking the 20th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks, there is much to process and unpack. But the consistent through line throughout these turbulent times are the first responders and essential workers who literally put their lives on the line today to ensure there's a brighter future for all of us tomorrow. And to them, we say thank you.
A plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City. It happened just a few moments ago.
September 11th for everyone is one of those moments that you know where you were.
4 airliners turned into deadly weapons. There's a nationwide hold now on all commercial flights.
I will never forget that Tuesday, and I will also never forget the absolute shock and awe.
It was one of the darkest days in America, and it is not over. New York and the nation will never be the same.
September 11th, when I was working down at Ground Zero, it felt like unrest spirits.
Standing at the foot of what's left of the Twin Towers.
It just felt like, it's hard to say, but to me it was just turmoil.
The department mobilized the same day. We had a few thousand people that were involved to recover the site.
People who worked together during September 11th, that tragedy, became such a close-knit family. And even the city at large that I see, it was just, we were all one.
We lost 23 officers in 2001, and we've lost hundreds since. When you put that uniform on every day, you live the way they lived. You honor their memory by acting the way they acted.
The first St. Patrick's Day parade after 9/11 was a very somber affair. So many of the first responders that were lost in the towers would have been marching in the parade that year. The parade route is from 44th and 5th, marching uptown to 81st and 5th. The entire parade that day, that's 2 miles of people, turned around and faced downtown to the towers to show respect to those that we lost on September 11th. You could hear a pin drop in the city of New York at that time.
The reported outbreak of a new and deadly respiratory virus in China. The first U.S. case of the coronavirus.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the first responders of September 11th are the essential workers of today.
Life in the medical field has been like no other year we've ever experienced before. You can think of one of the worst days that you have as a department, and that was kind of perpetuated for many, many weeks. Nobody knew what the outcome would be. We didn't know what the prognosis of the patients would be, not knowing what you're going to take home with you. That was definitely a challenging piece for many, many people.
You know, we can give statistics on 12,000 tons a day and 3 million tons a year, and you know, the inches of snow fought and the tons of salt laid down, and we have a lot of statistics. And I think the most immeasurable one is the impact on lives that you'll never know. The countless lives that you made better just by being of service.
We answer the call, you know, whatever it is that day. If it's a global pandemic, if it's you know, it's the World Trade Center, it's a robbery down the street, you know, it's a child who needs assistance. It's what we do.
I'm Edward Grayson, and I am the Commissioner of the New York City Department of Sanitation.
My name is Megan O'Malley. I'm a Deputy Inspector with the New York City Police Department, and I'm the Commanding Officer of Midtown Precinct North.
I am Assistant Chief Keith Mellis. I work for the Bureau of Public Affairs. My 33rd year completed with the Department of Sanitation.
My name is Kate O'Neill. I'm a registered nurse and the Assistant Vice President for Emergency Medicine for Northwell Health.
These are the unsung heroes, the people that put their lives on the line on our behalf. And I would particularly like to say thanks to our first responders and also our essential workers.
We care about you, and New York City cares about you, and that's what we are. We're always there.
Triumph flourishes out of tragedy. It's the only way we push forward. And as we do, we look toward next year's parade and festivities. But in the meantime, here's wishing you a very happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers.